Today is the big day. WWE Raw debuts on Netflix. This is a big deal because WWE Raw is no longer available on cable here in America. You're going to have to pay for a subscription service in order to see Raw. Now, the one good thing about this is that even though WWE has been doing big business in recent years, this move to Netflix could draw in a lot of new viewers who don't typically watch wrestling. But now that it's on Netflix, they will. So this show is being promoted as this huge event. There's going to be major stars on the show, some big matches. We could see returns from Becky Lynch. We might see The Rock. We're definitely going to see John Cena. And as far as the matches go, I want to give some predictions. So Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. Tribal combat. Who's going to win? Come on, it's got to be Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is far superior to Solo Sikoa. No offense to Solo. He's fine in his own right, but they're not going to have Solo beat Roman here. There's no way they're letting that happen. I mean, Solo has been beaten over and over again in this feud between Roman and Cody and the Bloodline. Cody beat Solo at SummerSlam last year. Cody beat Solo in a steel cage. Roman Reigns' Survivor Series team beat Solo's Bloodline at Survivor Series. So they're not going to all of a sudden have Solo defeat Roman Reigns on this big show. No way. What I think is going to happen is that Roman is going to defeat Solo Sikoa. He's going to get the Ula Fala, or he almost gets the Ula Fala, but then The Rock shows up, takes the Ula Fala for himself, and declares himself as the tribal chief, setting up a Roman Reigns versus Rock match at WrestleMania. That's the best idea, and I hope that is what happens tonight. Another match on the show is Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the World Championship, the Women's World Championship. And I definitely think Rhea Ripley is winning here. Liv Morgan has done an outstanding job being a great heel all throughout last year, being a thorn in Rhea Ripley's side, and she's carried the title well, but this whole Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan thing has run out of steam. I mean, this has just been going on for way too long at this point. They got to put an end to this. So I fully expect Rhea Ripley to capture the Women's Championship. The bigger question is, who will Rhea Ripley be facing at WrestleMania? And that is something I really don't know. It could be... Actually, there's really nobody I have in mind for facing Rhea Ripley. I mean, there's nobody off the top of my head that I could see facing Rhea Ripley. I mean, that would be a huge match. I mean, there's some big matches that we'd all like to see, like, let's say, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, but Bianca Belair's busy with the women's tag titles. You could see Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, but I don't know if Jade is ready for that spot yet. Jade is out of action right now. So we'll see what Rhea Ripley does, but expect her to win the championship tonight. Another big match on the show is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Come on, guys. CM Punk has to win this match. He's got to. CM Punk is one of the biggest stars in the company, and there are big matches on the horizon for him. Think about CM Punk versus Roman Reigns at some point. Think about CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. CM Punk versus The Rock. CM Punk versus John Cena. I mean, there's just so many huge matches on the horizon. He's got to beat Seth Rollins here. And it doesn't have to be all bad news for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, after he loses, he can turn full heel and maybe destroy CM Punk with like a vicious attack. I mean, that could be how Seth turns full heel. And hopefully he stops wearing all these silly outfits and starts being more serious. Because every time I see Seth giving a serious promo or trying to give a serious promo, I can't take him seriously because he's wearing a ridiculous outfit. It just doesn't work. That gimmick has never worked in my mind. Yes, everyone loves singing his song in the arenas. That means they like the song. That has nothing to do with him. You know, it's just this ridiculous character he's been playing for far too long. It's got to go. I mean, it's just got to go. Seth Rollins, in my opinion, was at his best in 2015. When he was a heel, he was kind of like a cowardly heel, but you could take him seriously. You know, he was a good wrestler. He held his own in big main event matches. Obviously, he cashed in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania back in 2015, became world champion, and I thought he had a very entertaining title run. He was made to look like a coward, but still, that was his character at the time. It was great. He had outstanding matches, and it was just a great character. But now he's sort of like kind of a joke, and CM Punk made him look like a fool when they had a promo together most recently on last week's Raw. So Seth Rollins has to drop this whole gimmick, and hopefully this is a good thing and he can transition into something better. Another match that's on the show, Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. I'm going with Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre had that feud with CM Punk that lasted all throughout last year, and CM Punk oftentimes got the better of Drew McIntyre throughout that feud, and then he won the Hell in a Cell match, which was the conclusion of that feud. So Drew McIntyre needs to make some noise. Obviously, he's beaten Sami Zayn, but I think he needs to beat Jey Uso here as well. I think they should have done Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso. I think that's really what they should have done. I don't want to see Jey Uso take too many losses because I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. But yeah, I fully expect Drew to beat Jey. Or I could see Jimmy interfering and helping Jey, and maybe Drew will lose. But, well, that could happen, and then that could lead to a second match between Drew and Jey at the Royal Rumble. That could happen. But still, I'm going with Drew here because Drew needs to be made to look strong after losing that feud with CM Punk. And I don't know who he will be facing at WrestleMania, but they got to make Drew look strong on this show. And they could still achieve that even if somehow Drew loses the match by doing what I just said. If Jimmy helps Jey, everyone looks good in the end. So those are the matches that are announced for the show. But as far as some surprises, now Becky Lynch, I fully expect to appear on this show, and I expect her to declare that she will enter the Women's Royal Rumble. In fact, I expect her to win the Royal Rumble, head to WrestleMania to face Tiffany Stratton, who recently won the Women's Championship after cashing in the Money in the Bank on Nia Jax on this past week's SmackDown. So that is a match that we actually have seen before in NXT, but we haven't seen it on the big stage at WrestleMania, and I think it would be a perfect fit for both women because Tiffany Stratton gets the rub by being in the ring with Becky Lynch on such a big stage. And, Becky, who knows how many years she has left wrestling. She has to pick and choose her spots carefully. She's already faced Rhea Ripley. She's already faced Liv Morgan. She's faced most people on the roster. And yes, she has faced Tiffany Stratton, but not on the highest level, on the biggest stage. So, and not on such a big event. Like she's faced her in NXT, but at WrestleMania, they could put on a big show. So yes, I expect Becky versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Now, John Cena will be on the show. He will most likely also declare for the Royal Rumble. I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble. I think he might win the Elimination Chamber in February or March, whenever the Elimination Chamber is, and then go on to face one of the world champions. Some people are saying that the plan is for John Cena to face Cody Rhodes. I think that would be a mistake, in my opinion, because there are bigger matches you can make with Cody. You can make Cody versus Punk, Cody versus The Rock for the title. John Cena would actually be a good fit for Gunther because, Gunther's not the biggest star in the world, and just being in the ring with John Cena would make him look like $1 million. And Gunther's a great wrestler, but just in terms of star power, being in the ring with John, his stock goes right up. And John could actually beat Gunther. And so Gunther, although he would lose the title, he would still be protected because, it's John Cena. He doesn't really lose any value by losing to John Cena. And then John Cena can have his final title run. That's what I want to happen. That's what I expect to happen. And obviously, most people are expecting Penta to debut on Raw tonight. I expect that to happen. But what will Penta be doing? I mean, a lot of people are hoping that Penta will face Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania and put on a match unlike anybody has ever seen before. Because Rey Mysterio is another person who doesn't have a lot of years left in his career. He's 50 years old. So might as well put on the best showing you possibly can against a guy who can give him that kind of a match. So that's what I expect to happen on the Netflix debut of WWE Raw tonight. And thank you for watching.